Good afternoon, you're at Nosey Road St Helens for the second part of the Norweb Challenge. A belated season's greetings to one and all here at Nosey Road. Judgment Day Part 2 beckons. Saints have got to win, and they've got to win by 11 points. Welcome to everyone in the sponsors' boxes, the boardroom, everyone who's taking the broadcast here at St Helens. You're with Micron Video, the leaders in Rugby League Video. My name's Ron Hoof. Joining me for this afternoon is Trevor Hunt. And Wigan, with what we would say was a depleted side, crushed the Saints 42-22, and Saints salvaging some pride after trailing 28 points to 6 after third pre-quarter time, 60 minutes. But the Saints being led out today by two matchday mascots, Hannah Schofield and Liam Seabrook. Hannah is 10 years of age, attends Rivington County Primary School, a hobbies of gymnastics, swimming and reading, going to the Brownies. Her favourites are Bobby Golding and Danny Arnold, and 11-year-old Liam, who attends Rivington County Primary School as well. He told us he likes football, swimming, rugby, obviously supports the Saints, and Liam's heroes are Steve Prescott and Bobby Golding again. He's a popular favourite, isn't he? Today's referee is David Campbell from Widnes, and Trevor, Wigan today without the influential Andy Farrell, and can the Saints pull it off?
Well, of course, Andy Farrell was the player who more than anybody contributed to that 32-22 victory at Central Park. And we'll look back perhaps at the end of this game and think about that interception try that Alan Hunt got for Saints right at the death that closed their gap to 10 points. 10 points against a Wigan side that's depleted of 10 players. And I'll quickly run through the roundup, Ron. Wigan, Doc Murray, the New Zealander at full-back for his second game. Number 2, Danny Ellison. 3, Chris Radlinski in at the centre. Andy Johnson at 4 and Darryl Cardis at 5. Half-backs, well, it's Sean Long and Craig Murdoch, hoping to establish a claim on a place that has been occupied by Henry Paul, who comes back from Union, and Sean Edwards, who's been injured. In the forwards, Ian Sherratt, Martin Hall making his last appearance for Wigan before jetting off to Australia. Neil Cowie at 10. Stephen Holgate, another winter signing, I should say, and Steve Barrow in at 12. And then Gail Tellick at 13 instead of Farrell. Paul Johnson, Neil Baines, Nigel Wright back for his first game in many months, and Matt Knowles are all on the bench. And the referee is David Campbell. The Saints line-up?
Yeah, the Saints side, Steve Prescott, Danny Arnold, Alan Hunt, Paul Newell of Anthony Sullivan, Tommy Martin and Bobby Golding. Let's hope they can do it for us today. Come on, you Saints, is the cry from the very vociferous popular side faithful below us. Apollo Perolini, Kieran Cunning, Julian O'Neill in the front row, Derek McVie, Ian Pickavance and Carl Hammond the back three, with on the bench Chris Morley, Andy Northey, Via Matautia and Paul Anderson.
Well, Wigan with the first touch of the ball. Martin Hall looking to get his forwards running. A nice reception committee from the Saints forwards. I really feel that Saints will be up for this one. Perhaps disappointed as double winners. They managed to lose at Central Park in the opening challenge. A winner takes all, £15,000 off a grab as Neil Cowie takes it up. Forward was the cry, the ball come loose. Seems to be 2 or 3 players running, but it's Saints possession.
Yes, Saints have it, and they know what they've got to do. The ball coming back to Steve Prescott as Paul Newell have just lost the possession. We're going to definitely up for it. The game's being played at a cracking pace. Julian O'Neill straight in. His first game on the home turf, his debut at Central Park in Judgment Day Part 1. Wigan urged to get onside, but encroaching in my humble opinion. Cunningham attacking half-back. Being impeded there, Pickavance, but the Saints move it right. Hammond, short ball there, and Apollo Perolini and Carl Hammond clashing. Last tackle of this sequence, Bobby Golding puts it up. It's a tester for Doug Murray. The Saints are chasing. It's bounced off Paul Newell's shoulders. He's judged offside. Obviously, with Tommy Martin back and Bobby Golding, the captain, Trevor, they're going to put these eyeballs up and try and put Wigan under a lot of pressure, which they didn't do in the first game.
Well, that's right, and of course these players are very much the playmakers round the base of the scrum in centre field, Goulding and Martin. And in fact, there's only the 3 players jointly, them and Hayes really missing from what you consider a first-team lineup as Wigan take it forward through Ian Sherratt. Sherratt a bit slow to his feet. Hall loose to his left-hand side, uses Holgate. Second row signing from Working in Town for £100,000. He's knocked on. He only lasted about 25 minutes in the first game, got a bit of a knock on his back and then came back for the last 10. But he'll be eager to impress the Central Park faithful here in this crowd of, what would you say, around about 13, 14,000?
Well, as you said in the first game, I don't know whether there's that many here, Trevor. I would say there's at least 10. Obviously, as Wigan did for tax purposes. Unquote. But there we go, Saints have the possession. Wigan coming in with the tackling. Will they miss the direction of Andy Farrell? It was Farrell, Radlinski, Doug Murray that... well, three of the Wigan heroes, obviously they was all heroes as they took Saints apart. As Parolini comes through again, the Terminator drives it up there. Cunningham at dummy halves. He breaks quick, slips it to Julian O'Neill. Wigan pulled the ball out, did he? It looked as though he had. The referee, is he saying it was pulled out? He is, I think that's the indication. It looked like that from our angle. What's the referee? Well, he's given a scrum down, Trevor.
Well, he's given a knock-on, a signal from the touch judge. I know the Saints players were claiming it was raked out, but the touch judge on the far side, only about 8 yards away from it, which is a lot closer than we were. So it's going to be a scrum down, as you can see, and it's Saints with possession.
Alan Hunt now. Well, Saints have the possession there, Trevor, and if he's getting a knock on and we've got head and feet, I don't know. But we'll accept the possession as Carl Hammond driving the legs into the Wigan 20. Cunningham at dummy half. Saints have got to put the pressure on. Golding drawing the men through, slips the ball through. The ball couldn't be taken cleanly. The Saints still have possession, they do. Saints going in from short range, it's a try. Yes, the referee points. Apollo Perolini, the man, I think, that scored the try. It looks like it. Perolini, the man in there. Well, Saints knew they had to do something, Trevor. It was Golding again. They looked as though he was going to put the ball out wide. He grubbed it through. It couldn't be taken cleanly, and then Perolini went in.
Well, yes, that little grubber kick, so often highly successful for them all last season, and once again it split the Wigan defence, went right behind them. McVeigh was unlucky not to take it at the first opportunity, and of course once he was tackled, well, it's going to take some stopping to hold Perolini out from round about 2 metres. Good try for Saints and just what they wanted.
We're glad the weather's relented. It's obviously terracing that caused the problem on New Year's Day, and things have got to be safe for the spectator. Even though I was one of the disappointed people that was actually here, amongst quite a few others, quite a few thousand. But we got the game on today, quite mild conditions. Wigan have the ball possession. They're just outside their own 25.
So it's with Sherratt, tries to take it forward, but doesn't get past that tackle from Martin. Now with Cowie trying to use the shorter side. Runs it straight, Newlove gets in comes Martin, and down goes Cowie. Hall trying to put a rake and kick this side. Test Prescott. Prescott, of course, put on the transfer list at Saints earlier this week, £200,000. He's going to try and run the ball away. Takes it into that first line of Wigan defence on the 20-metre mark.
Yes, Steve Prescott, as you say, put on the list. Obviously, you've got to take care of themselves, these players, but the clubs won't break the bank. So let's hope a compromise can be made. Saints have the possession, leading by 4 points to nil. Derek McVeigh, lovely ball off Hammond. Alan Hunt was on his Derek McVeigh's right, but good clamp tackling by Wigan, just stopping his progress. Cunningham being taken towards the touch line, kept in the field of play, and Saints have spread the ball across again. Golding, long cut-out pass. Hammond just getting a little bit tied up there with his own men, but Hammond makes good forward progress. Midway between the Wigan 20 and the halfway line. Perolini, the try scorer, looking for the runners. Pick-a-vance. Evades the first tackle, the last one of the sequence. The ball goes to Golding, turns it back inside to Prescott. Prescott chips it through, and Doc Murray takes it with ease.
Well, it's Murray who took that little kick, but plenty of danger on there for Wigan as they try and come away with the ball right in front of their own post. It's going to be a bit of a run this time from Ellison. Danny Ellison coming from the wing. Hall at dummy half, looking for his forward runners. Use that short side again, and it's Johnson. Gets it up to nearly halfway. But I think it's rocked Wigan that they've conceded that early try. Good run from Cowie, though. In part of the Saints' defence. Hall. Out this time to Murdoch. Murdoch to Long. Looks with a short ball to Talek. And it's the last tackle. Well, not a lot of headway made on that set of 6 in some respects. No, with Long. Looks to put a kick in the back, but it's not a good chase. Trying to test Danny Arnold, who lets it run. Now has to take it in his own in-goal area. Up he goes, and there's the reception committee. Almost loses the ball.
Well, that's great defence by Wigan as they come back on Arnold. Obviously, the ball didn't sit up for him the first time. Now it's with Alan Hunt. Nearly broke through there. We know that long-distance interception try that Trevor was on about that brought the Saints back in a bit on Boxing Day. But the Saints from their own line, over the 20-metre line. Perellini, the Terminator, head down, drives it forward. Good tackling by Sherratt there and Hall. Derek McVie nearly always breaks the first line of defence, this big Aussie. Once again, the Saints build up. Now it's with Bobby Golding. Kicking for advantage there for distance and finds touch in the Wigan 20. A great drive up there. Saints with it all to do. They've got to win, and they've got to win by 11 points. They've clawed 4 back, Trevor, but they've got to get in there again. And you'd expect, obviously, Saints, they've got to get in there with some of the big names back, and Wigan without 10, as you say.
Well, yeah, it's Wigan who are looking to keep this gap at a minimum. In fact, obviously, at this stage, they'll be looking for a win anyway, I would suggest. But that's Murray coming to the line. We've only had 9 minutes of the game. A penalty against Saints, quickly taken by Craig Murdoch. Well, perhaps significant that the Saints had made 80 metres on the set of 6 with that kick, of course, but it really put Wigan on the back foot. Now Hall. Cowie takes it forward. Well, a good 8 metres or so, well earned. Hall again. Murdoch. This time with Sherratt. Sherratt turns, can't release the ball. Hall again, looking at dummy half, the switch of play for Murdoch, but there's 4 Saints players that side, and a good, well-met tackle from McVeigh. Really rocked the Wigan forward on his heels. Out it comes again with Murdoch. Long. Johnson. Johnson looking to duck under the tackles, but can't get through Golding and Martin. Short ball again, this time Holgate, and what a tackle from Tommy Martin. Well, 6 tackle. Hall looking for the little kick for Cardis, but then too strong and too deep, and perhaps one more to gain position than actually try and get the wingman in. But some ferocious tackling coming from the Saints halfbacks.
Yes, super stuff by Tommy Martin, the old Cumberland fling there, a tackle that he's famed for. Great work there, putting pressure on the 5th tackle, and then Hall had to put the ball down to touch on the 6th. Perhaps Wigan would have been better served taking the ball in field, but we'll never know. As Prescott nearly broke through there. Great tackle, Sean Long. Ian Pickavance. Saints look full of running. Cowie there with a tackle. Such a popular figure, Cowie, isn't he? He always gets rapturous applause, whether he's either tackling or actually in possession. Derek McVie, Perellini, Saints driving it up, making some great yardage. The ball's lost. Perellini lost control of it. It is a knock-on. Some solid tackling there. Cowie involved again. Scrum down. Wigan feed, Trevor.
Yeah, Cowie's one of those players I think that you like to have in your side. He stands no messing, makes good yardage, and when it comes to putting the big hits in, he certainly softens up 1 or 2 players. But it's Wigan with the ball now. Murray in the line. Steps past that attempt from Martin. Good run from him. Looks like he could really be a good acquisition. It was the Wigan man of the match in the first meeting. Didn't play that ball properly. It doesn't matter. Long out to Talek, the Frenchman, who's looking to establish himself well and truly in the Wigan first-team squad this season. Now with Sherratt. Sherratt spins, loses the ball, and it's all on as Saints pick up.
Well, the game played at 100 mile an hour. There's no danger about that. And errors coming thick and fast as Derek McVie tried to turn it inside to Carl Hammond. He couldn't release the ball, could Derek? Now it's with Anthony Sullivan. Sullivan again looking for that half gap. But you don't get many half gaps in a Wigan defence. Not in 80 minutes anyway. Julian O'Neill, the big Auckland warrior, powering his way towards the Wigan line. Saints 4-0 in the lead. Now with Perellini, the opposite diagonal. Golding laying the ball off. The last tackle of this set of 6. It's with Golding again. He puts a tester up. Steve Prescott putting pressure on Doug Murray. The ball's loose. It's released. Saints have got to keep it going. It's the 6th tackle. Alan Hunt. Is he in? But the referee, no, he's not having none. A bit of obstruction there when Saints were going up for that high kick off Bobby Golding. Somebody's pushed a Wigan player out of the way. Eagle-eyed Mr. Campbell has spotted it, and Wigan have the penalty.
Well, yeah, Murray obstructed. He looked all at sea, and you'd have to hope that he was obstructed, because really he was in no man's land for that, and an expensive signing. You'd like to see him make a better job of it. So obviously Campbell, the referee, spotted something that accounted for his rather lacking defensive play. But now Wigan trying to come away. Cowie the dummy runner. This time it comes into Steve Barra. Spun round though. The Saints defence comes in hard and fast. Julian O'Neill getting through a lot of work on defence. Talik has the ball raked, and a penalty to Wigan. Well, I think there's no argument with that one, Ron. I thought it was definitely raked out.
Well, I don't know so much, Trevor. I mean, it was 50-50. You know, we was right in line with it, but obviously the ferocity of the tackle there, and it came loose. But the referee's right on the job, Trevor, and we've got to put up with it, whether we like it or not. Anyway, that was a good kick to compensate.
Well, it's wrong with his 50-50 vision specs, courtesy of St Helens optician, I think. Here comes Neil Cowie, taking it forward. And Wigan really looking to get a clear-cut break on against Saints. They've not managed anything yet. If anything, they seem to be losing the studs. Pitch very slippery on top, because of course we've had this thaw overnight. And I suppose you can expect to see quite a bit of bad handling skills, because again, neither team will have been able to train on the surface of grass, because it was too frozen over the last 10 days or so. But Long with Long looks to try and find a bit of a half gap himself. Hammond closes it up for him. Andy Johnson. And with Murdoch slipping it back inside to Talik. And it's the last tackle, well, not the 5th tackle these days, but the last tackle anyway, as he goes to Murdoch, tries a little kick into the in-goal area. Good chase too from Danny Ellison, but well policed by Danny Arnold, and no real threat to Saints.
No, not really. It was too deep. The idea was right, obviously varying the play. Wigan in the first game took the Saints apart on the wings. We're on about the pitch. Obviously it looks in excellent condition, but as I say, it's been covered and then uncovered, and a bit of bad weather and what have you. The ball's still loose. The referee allowing play to go on, but a fine surface here at Nosey Road. Saints in possession, leading by 4 points to 0. 15 minutes of the game gone. Julian O'Neill taking the ball up. Kieran Cunningham attacked in half. Referee Campbell urging the Wigan players to get onside as they move up quickly on the referee's left. And why not? You're going to have a go, aren't you? Unless the referee pulls you back. Cunningham again. Breaks through, but that's great tackling by the Wiganers. Bobby Golding. Long cut-out ball. Taken by Tommy Martin. Beats one. Looking for support. Martin inside to Pickavant. He couldn't take it. He had 2 men on his left. But the ball went inside there, and Pickavant's following it up and completing the tackle. Well, a knock-on. Well, he's given a knock-on both ways, I think, Trevor, hasn't he? Scrum down Wigan feed anyway.
Well, it was a knock-on by Pickavant, but great play from Tommy Martin. Radlinski was homing in on him like an Exocet missile, and he's spotted him with some sort of sixth sense, sidestepped him and then slipped the ball inside for Pickavant. If he could have taken that, I think it could have been a try. As it is, it's Wigan. Johnson looking to try and get through that gap. Ball gone to ground, it's loose, picked up by Hunt. Well, as we said, a lot of drop ball between these sides, but the tackling, certainly nothing held back on that run.
No, there's no danger about that. I would imagine you'd have probably been crying for a reap out there, Trevor, but the Saints lads looked at the referee. It goes with Newlove. Newlove turns inside, attracts a cluster of Wigan defenders. And once again, the Saints within striking distance. Julian O'Neill powering it up. Within 10 metres now of the Wigan line. 17 minutes gone. Saints in the lead, 4 points to 0. Golding taking command. Drawing the men in, giving the dummy, but it wasn't taken this time. Hall, one of the tacklers in. Last one of the sequence. Hammond slips it out to McVie. The ball's loose, but it's gone forward. Forward pass there on the last tackle. That'll be the turnover. And the Wigan defence tight as a drum there, Trevor.
Well, certainly very tight in that corner. I don't think there can be too much argument with it. Touch judge right alongside him. If Danny Arnold hadn't taken the pass, he'd have taken it and gone in. It was that close. And but good skills nevertheless from Saints to engineer a scoring opportunity on the far side. Wigan now trying to bring it away. Talek, ball. Well, I think that was raked out, that one, Ron.
No comment.
And Wigan, the quick tap. What we haven't seen yet is that kick behind the defence that brought them 4 tries in the first encounter. Whether Graham West had decided that Sean McRae will have countered that in his defensive patterns, I don't know. But Wigan certainly looking for some way of getting through this Saints defence. Certainly just taking it up on one-man rugby is not going to beat him at this stage. Hall out to Cowie. Cowie takes it and he steps right into a Perolini. Well, back now with Steve Barra. Good run from the strong second row man. Good ball to Long too. But what a tackle. Well, he's flicking them over his fine style. Tommy Martin had that groin operation. Now a little kick by Murdoch. Take by Hammond. Chance for Saints if he just keeps hold of the ball. And of course, well, Saints looking sharp.
Well, both sides looking sharp, but Saints are making some good yardage. There's no danger about that. Danny Arnold up to the halfway line. Wigan urged to get back onside. Saints are spreading it. Golding. Pickavance driving the ball up. Still going. Ian Pickavance. A further 5 to 8 metres of forward progress. Holgate brings him down. Golding again. Good ball to Hammond. Well, it looked a good ball. I think it was slightly forward as it went through, but the ball was knocked forward. It'll be a scrum down. With a Wigan feed halfway through this first half, Trevor. It's still only 4 points to 0, but it's a great game.
Yeah, I think on that occasion there, I think that Hammond really thought the ball was going to go past him. It was going to be a cut-out ball, and in fact it was meant a short one for him. He dummied everybody to Goulding. Wigan though trying to come back with this one. Andy Johnson. Martin's pulled him down again, fine style. Now with Long. And back inside to Talek, who's certainly working hard. Well, Perolini came in. He thinks it's a bit high, does Talek. Not too happy with it. I think that the referee Dave Campbell has decided in the end that he'll have a word with Kieran Cunningham about not particularly the first tackle, but perhaps something that happened after that.
Well, I mean, the man's still upright, isn't he? His forward progress was still going. And as I said in the first game, we're not pouncing about with a round ball game. We're playing hardcore body contact sport. You've got to get the man down, and if he won't go down, we've got to make him go down. But anyway, we're going to have got a penalty, and end of story.
How far is he going to go dragging 18 stone of Apollo Perolini round his legs? Wigan anyway, with the ball, Long. Steps inside, tries to beat Martin. Good run almost, but in comes Pickavance, just grabs his shirt tails. Now with Barra, Steve Barra. Martin again up to the tackle with a bit of an assistance. Really looking strong on this. Holgate. Holgate brings it up. Back goes Martin. He's not happy with that one. Now with Murdoch. Long. The switch of play to Cowie. Into Perolini. Still going is Cowie. Perolini jumps over the top. I can see this game cutting up a bit in the second half, or even in the first half the way it's going. Radlinski, first time we've seen him with the ball. Last tackle. Ellison out to Murdoch. That little kick flattened by Bobby Goulding. And it's Saints in possession right on their own line.
Aye, and somebody's injured. But what a game, what a drive by Wigan. Good running from Cowie down here, as we said. He wanted to mix it with Apollo Perolini. Perolini will have just blessed him and got on with it. And now it's Pickavance, and Saints got to make good yardage. Jeanette Smith on to treat the injured player. Julian O'Neill, head down, drives through. Solid tackling. Nothing more than you can expect from a Saints-Wigan derby. Good work, Derek McVie. Alan Hunt on his right. Good tackling by the Wiganers. Perolini comes through. Right to the halfway line. The last tackle of the sequence. Saints moving up. The ball in Bobby Goulding's hands. He puts it down. positional kicking, but it's taken on the wing.
Danny Ellison, the man in position to take that, perhaps just a bit too tight to the touchline. Tell you what, Ron, this is a friendly, isn't it? I mean, this is not this title decider. Very much too early, is it?
No friendly matches between Saints and, for the Foresters in Billinge, the Pie Eaters.
Well, Neil Cowie taking it forward. Hall. Bruce receiver is looks like it's Gail Tallock again. Certainly putting some work in. Now with Murdoch to Long. Looks for the switchback ball. Tallock takes it to just as Big Advance arrives on the scene. Hall to Long. Looking to get through a half gap. Finds Tallock. Good run from the Frenchman to Murdoch. Murdoch's avoided. Now Radlinski. This is going to be a try. Back inside the Cardiff to Danny Ellison. Great try for Wigan. Wigan all square. And that was a terrific touchdown. But Goulding runs fully 15 metres. In comes another Saints player. I told you this one's going to cut up a little bit rough. Certainly tempers are running high on that pitch. Kieran Cunningham now pushing off Doc Murray. And that referee Campbell having to get the Saints back. And they're very upset indeed of these Saints people. So Danny Ellison was over for a try anyway. It was Radlinski who put him in. It was Tallock who made the initial break. And of course, his pass to Murdoch. But a good try from Wigan, and then all the tempers fraying afterwards. Referee Campbell calling out Wigan players, and we're having a substitution at the same time. Chris Morley coming on for Ian Pickavance. But Carl Hammond involved, and we've got Steve Prescott. He doesn't seem to have pulled any Wigan players out, so looks like he's putting the blame firmly in the Saints camp now.
Well, it looks that way, doesn't it? But a great try by Wigan, split the Saints open, and what a cool head from Radlinski. He could have scored, but he turned the ball inside to Ellison, who took it no problem, went over, dove over, then obviously he was pushed, there's no danger. A chance for Sean Long. He's another player that shone in the first game, didn't he, Trevor? And it's well within kicking distance.
Well, competition for places at Central Park is fierce, and when you consider they've got 10 what you consider first-team players out for various reasons, players like Sean Long are desperate to claim a shirt for keeps. And if Sean Long now, they can kick this one, he would put Wigan 2 points ahead. And it's a good kick too, straight between the posts. Saints 4, Wigan 6.
Wigan take the lead on the day, 6 points to 4. Now have a 13-point cushion. Uphill battle for the Saints, 25 minutes of the game gone. As Wigan kick it off, and it finds touch just short of the Saints' 20-metre line. Scrum down, Saints head and feed. As Trevor said before, are you sure it's only a friendly? As I said, there's no friendlies. I'm not quite sure of the prize money. Well, 15,000. I thought it was 20 at Wigan. Then we've seen 10 and 15 banded in the press. But 15 grand, and there's 15 grand at stake from Norway. Some strong tackling there by Wigan, but now it's Chris Morley. Morley again, slips it to Newlove. Newlove with men inside. Newlove goes on his own, puts the ball inside. Sullivan takes it, and Sullivan's in for the try. Well, that's a reply in the half, isn't it? Great work by the Saints there. Moved it from in their own 20-metre line and took the ball right up and replied and touched down over the whitewash with Anthony Sullivan there getting the 4-pointer. Great work there, the Saints. Wigan kicked it off from that Wigan try. Saints had and feed at the scrum. They brought it across in their own 20. Many hands involved. Adrian Morley slipped the ball out there to Paul Newlove. Newlove right in front of us, up the touchline. Looking for support on the inside. Beat the man, put a speculator inside. Sullivan juggled with it, took it, touched it down over the whitewash, and Saints back in the lead at 8 points to 6.
Doc Murray couldn't hold on to him, neither could the rest of the cover. And as he turned the ball inside, it was Sullivan Goulding hits the post and goes in. Great conversion from him too, from wide out. And it's Saints back in front with that 4-point lead. St Helens 10, Wigan 6. As we get yet another substitution. 14 and 15 for Wigan. That's Neil Baines and Paul Johnson coming on, replacing Ian Sherratt. And I think it's Danny Ellison, the try scorer, who's gone off. So the ball with Wigan. Stephen Holgate takes it forward. Johnson has come onto the wing. He was the Academy Player of the Tour over in New Zealand in October. Missed the first game because he got a bit of flu. Graham West expects great things of him. Cowie taking the ball forward. Almost spins out of that tackle. But Wigan trailing Saints by 10 points to 6. Out goes the ball. Murdoch tackled close to the halfway line. This time Holgate takes it forward. Last tackle, Hall puts the kick in himself with touch on this near side. A good one too. Finds touch about 10 metres in from the Saints try line. Well, Saints couldn't have replied at a better stage within almost 60 seconds of conceding a try under circumstances that were less than well received. It hit back with a great score.
Yes, just the job and they had to do. They know what they've got to do, and I bet a lot of them are thinking and about the words of Sean McRae ringing in their ears, especially after the first match. 28-6 down at one stage. Saints break again. Steve Prescott, but good cover defence by Wigan, and obviously just lying on to the nth degree. And that's the secret, isn't it? That's what Wigan have been doing for years, lying on to the nth degree. But Wigan have the ball now as McVie tried to unload it on the far side.
Well, Wigan, all higher mathematicians knowing the nth degree on this. Ball taken forward by Baines. Hall, out to Murdoch. Long, got to change his direction. Well, he went behind Holgate. No obstruction though, says the referee. Hammond closes in on him. And the young standoff eventually goes to ground. Bit of a run from dummy half by Murray. Looking for a penalty. He's got it too. Well, clipped. Perhaps as he went, tried to go through. And Murdoch is suggesting that Sean Long, if he's fit enough, he's just tying a bootlace, I think, unless he's got a bit of an ankle injury, has a crack at goal. But a bit harsh, I dare say, you'd think, that one.
I'm thinking another one with an equity card. They've got Shut of a Fire, who's appeared on Emmerdale with the Farsley Flyers, and now they've got Doc Murray there, who's obviously pick up his equity card as he gets up off the floor. But Wigan have got the penalty, and Mr. Campbell's said he shifted his body, he did a little bit of a shimmy. We obviously have to bow to his superior judgment.
Well, he is a bit closer, and he doesn't wear glasses as thick as yours, Ron, I have to say.
Milk bottle bottoms.
So Sean Long with this attempt to pull back 2 points for Wigan on the 20-metre mark.
I thought you knew, Trevor, I wore a monocle with only having one eye.
As many would say that, Ron, I'm sure. So Sean Long already kicked one from one. Looking for a second success. It's about 15 metres or so to left-hand side of the post, perhaps. Up he comes. Well, he's not really hit that well, and he misses that penalty, and that's a bit of a let-off for Saints. I think a bit of a let-off for Saints there, Ron.
You might say justice was done, Trevor.
Well, I say a bit of a let-off for Saints, I think. The ball kicked deep. Murray picks it up. Tries to go forward with it. Wigan. This time Stevie Barra manages to evade the tackle of Morley, but not Martin. And they're really moving up quick. In fact, it looks like he's in a lot of pain, Steve Barra. Twisted his knee as that tackle came in. And it was a crunching effort too. Off balance as Morley had half hit him, and then Martin completed it, and as we can see, he's in a lot of agony.
Yes, they want to stretch it straight away. and a very good prospect, Steve Barra. There's no danger about that, a hard runner, and the lads knew straight away. Great tackling, no question about the tackle being anything else but fair with Martin and Morley, but that said, he came in, they crunched the man to the ground, and obviously he's twisted and done a lot of damage there, Trevor.
Yeah, he's obviously in a lot of pain. He signed for Swinton last season, played I think about the last 8 or 9 games. So come to good and got his opportunity to stake a claim for first team place. Been running well too in this first half an hour or so of the game, at 33 minutes. And well, as you could see immediately that Martin made the tackle, he knew that something was wrong, and hard and fast and furious as this game has been, and perhaps even a little ill-tempered on occasion, you could see that the sportsmanship shone through from the Saints players on the Wigan player. Immediately they tried to assist him as best they could by getting somebody on, and Jeanette Smith, well, she didn't waste any time under calling for that stretcher, along with, of course, with the Wigan physios. So off he goes, and a tragic end to the game as far as Steve Barrett's concerned. Nobody likes to see a player carried off in such a manner, and especially when he's been playing well like that. Off he goes to the dressing rooms. But a big disappointment for Wigan. He certainly has been one of the most effective forwards they've had in this first half. So Wigan wait until he's left the park to resume play, and it's Holgate who takes it on. Neil Baines, young forward from the Wigan camp, come through the academy. Murdoch, they're looking to get this ball a bit wide and then switch it back. Tallick comes charging in, but Julian O'Neill's waiting. Murray again. First touch this time for Matt Knowles. Big rope-bone lad, another youngster. Last tackle. Hall to Murdoch. Murdoch puts the kick in. Good chase. Everybody's onside. Prescott's underneath there. Takes it superbly. A good tackling on him from the substitute Paul Johnson. So Saints with possession now.
Yes, Saints with possession, and as we was on about the first half, Trevor, where Doc Murray was obstructed, the new ruling obviously in effect that the fullback's got to be given time to take the ball now, Trevor, hasn't he?
That's right, yeah. It's always a difficult one, man, isn't it? Because I can't recall we've seen that. I haven't seen any injuries over my time really of a fullback taking a ball and then getting absolutely laid out and stretched off. But I think they've taken a leap out of rugby union's book, haven't they, where they're looking not to be guilty of encouraging injuries.
Yes, that's true. Morley in possession inside the Wigan half. Solid tackling from both sides. Saints driving it up. Now with Paul Newlove. He backs into the defence. Radlinski, one of the tacklers there. Last tackle of the sequence. Now with Bobby Golding. He puts it up. Murray's going to be tested again. Prescott quick out of the blocks. Martin there. The ball's loose. Is that a try? Is the referee giving it? Carl Hammond touchdown. Hammond in for the 4-pointer.
Well, a great up and under from Bobby Goulding. Martin, tremendous chase, and for the third time in this game we see Doc Murray not taking the ball. Now, we're given the benefit of the doubt on the first two that they're offside and he was impeded. On that one, the referee and the touch judges saw nothing wrong whatsoever. He managed to spill it and a try. Is he suspect on that high ball? Perhaps too early to ask that.
Oh, I don't know. Not judging by the way he played at Wigan, Trevor. I think he looks quite a complete player because he looks good under the high ball. He attacks well, he runs well, he's got a good sidestep. And it's not often I say good things about our friends from Central Park, is it? But he looks quite sharp, doesn't he? But a great try by Hammond once again on the sixth tackle. Bobby Goulding put the high ball up. I mean, the opposition should know, especially after Wembley, where Saints and Bobby Goulding destroyed the opposition with high balls. It came through there. Prescott quick out of the blocks. Martin up there as well. Pick of Vance, they were all following up. Hammond with the touchdown. Bobby Goulding converts it. Saints 16, Wigan 6. Both teams on level terms in as much as aggregate score, Trevor. 16-6 at present.
I've heard a rumour somewhere, Ron, that you've managed to persuade them to split it between you and me if they actually end up all square at the end of it.
What, the 15 grand? Ah, well, it wouldn't go amiss, would it? We could use it.
So Wigan in possession. Matt Knowles taking it forward. Wigan trailing by 10 points. 3 minutes to half-time. And I should imagine this will be a welcome respite for Wigan, really, especially in the state of the injury to Steve Barra and the fact they've now already got 3 of the young subs on. A very inexperienced side on the paddock as far as they're concerned. Graham West, no doubt, wanting a bit of a word with them. But in comes Hammond with another good tackle. They're really moving in swiftly, are the Saints. Murdoch, long. Not really any options, been cut off. Radlinski. Out again to Murray. Well, Murray's looking to find some way through. Good run from him. Cunningham closes eventually, as does O'Neill. Last tackle. Offside though, all these Saints players. Back to Long. Now it's Wigan who are all offside on the chase. Deep kick. It's not going to go dead. Prescott takes it and brings it back. And there's the waiting Wigan defence to knock him down.
Yes, and Saints have got to get back in numbers now, going back very slowly. Wigan already up there, chasing that ball. Arnold bringing the ball midfield. Great time to score, 2 minutes before the interval. As you say, with perhaps a minute or so stoppage time for the injury to Steve Barrow. Derek McVie down with the head, driving forward, shifted one out of the way there. Arnold again, looking for a piece of the action, gets clattered. Not a lot of forward momentum. Kieran Cunningham scampers away from the acting half-back position. Characteristic trait of this great young player. Golding puts it for distance over to the far side. Doc Murray will chase it, but it rolls into touch, just short of the 20. 16-6 the score, 39 minutes gone on the clock. The game's been played at a ferocious pace, but Saints just with a bit of breathing space now after trailing 6 points to 4. They certainly look up to it, and let's hope the interval obviously doesn't do them any damage.
Well, it certainly shouldn't, unless they have one of your coffees, I'd imagine, a bit of that whiskey in. But Murdoch, they're going to use that ball. Johnson trying to find a bit of a way through. Wigan well under the cosh at the moment. Murray trying to use his experience a bit and get more into play in midfield. Runs into a brick wall in the state of Apollo Perolini. Hauls him to the ground. Knowles went a bit early. Cowie takes it as second receiver. Now with Martin Hall. Well, he's looking to find a bit of open space in the middle of that park. Still offside, all the Saints men though, not getting back to Campbell. Baines bounces off one. Martin's in there again. Out again to Murdoch. Goes backwards. Long picks it up. Play on, says the referee. Well, Long's trying to conjure something up out of nothing there. Last tackle. Knowles at dummy. Well, he's a big lad to try and go on his own. To Murdoch, not the best of balls either. And Murdoch handed on to Tommy Martin, but the referee says he'd already shouted held.
Yes, Wigan trying to put the pressure on Saints, and Saints responding in kind. Minute and a half of injury time, stoppage time played. Saints can't afford to just ease off just before the interval. The old pie-eaters could sneak in, couldn't they? They're trailing 16-6. Saints with their tails up, and another try wouldn't go amiss, would it? Newlove to Sullivan. Oh, he just couldn't take it. If he could have taken that cleanly, it'd have been all over, wouldn't it? Sullivan would have been away. Great response by the Saints there, and Newlove trying to squeeze it out. He did his best there, Paul Newlove. He just couldn't be taken. Pity about that.
Well, certainly was with an attempt. It was just a bit behind Sullivan, but they're working well together, Newlove and Sullivan. Seem to understand well each other's play. Big, strong, powerful centre, of course. But now it's Wigan trying to bring it away with young Paul Johnson. He's lost the ball. Penalty, though. Ball being raked. And Radlinski tries to find touch. Danny Arnold takes it. And back come the Saints.
Yes, a poor kick there by Wigan. Arnold took it. Wigan had a penalty for the ball being reaped out. And Saints now, we're still with the ball in the hands and looking to score. Now with Newlove again. Backs into the defence. Quick play of the ball is essential. Time running out. Over 3 minutes of stoppage time played. Chris Morley, chest out, drives it up. Saints know the urgency. Cunningham, that's offside. Come Come on, referee! The man clearly offside. Morley on the blind side. Into the Wigan 20, the last one of the sequence. It'll go to Golding. Saints will put it in the early, put it crossfield. Alan Hunt, can he take it? He's kicked it dead. I think he may have been offside, Trevor, there.
You didn't scream as loudly for that offside as you did the one a few seconds earlier on. But
I admitted it, didn't I?
Maybe a run for that one. Maybe he's perhaps taking it on the hands, but the referee didn't give a penalty, so he's not adjudged him offside. But lost ball. Certainly referee Campbell, not the most popular man with the Saints fans here this afternoon. And another quick penalty taken. I think the haste in the Wigan camp to get play going again. They're trying to catch Saints off as they backpedal, but what they're in fact doing is putting in some bad kicks to touch, which are just not serving any purpose at all. But there goes the half-time hooter. The first try came from Perolino, 3 minutes. Then it was Ellison who scored for Wigan, and a long goal to make it 6-4, but a response within 60 seconds from Sullivan, goal by Golding. And then, of course, that last try on 36 minutes that was scored by Hammond. Golding goal, that 16-6, the Saints lead at half-time.
Yeah, that's right. Both sides trooping back on after the well-earned half-time break. Have a belated 30th birthday mention to David Atherton. Lots of love from Vicky and family, Vicky his wife, and both families anyway. David Atherton, 30. That was on New Year's Day. That's when we should have had the match. So best wishes to you there, David. The aggregate half-time score, all level, 38 apiece. Saints in the lead, 16 points to 6 on the day. 4 minutes of stoppage time played. Obviously, a few things have happened since the last time we were together, Trevor. Joe Lydon resigned from his post. Steve Prescott put on the transfer list. Simon Booth on the transfer list. With Paul Anderson, one of the subs today, he's started to be a full-time professional, which obviously will help his career. Another up-and-coming lad. And obviously the Wigan ground being sold for $4 million to Dave Whelan. That puts the Wigan debts out of the red and into the black, as they say. So what's your comments about that, Trevor?
Well, not a great deal, really. Lydon, we know, went obviously on New Year's Eve. Obviously, he's just have something else in the pipeline. And Dave Whelan, I believe, supposed to be putting 11 million into revamping Central Park. But it's Saints with possession. They're just looking after the 15 grand. And as you say, all square and aggregate. Let's see who takes it.
Yes, that's true. Derek McVie turns the ball inside to Kieran Cunningham. Cunningham again trying to weave his way through. Taken down the Matt Knowles. Prescott at dummy half. Julian O'Neill into the Wigan territory. Chris Morley, been influential since he came on as a replacement for Ian Pickavance. Right in the action. Last tackle of the sequence. Bobby Golding playing down to the clubhouse end, the restaurant end, putting pressure again. The ball taken calmly and collectively. Murray, no problem that time, Trevor.
Great take from David Murray. As Wigan trying to come back with Andy Johnson. Gets the ball inside to Murdoch. Good support from Murdoch. No substitutions brought on at half-time on either camp, as I can spot. Holgate almost through. And offside against Saints, so referee Campbell obviously allowing the advantage, but deciding in the end there was none. It's going to be a free kick to the Saints. Murray come up to try and gain ground on his near side. Well, a better kick than most. Hunt only just missed on it, Alan Hunt. So in we come with Baines, Neil Baines. roly-poly type of front row forward. Reminds me a bit of Steve Pitchford, the old Leeds front row man. Now Neil Cowie. Good run from him. Well, McVeigh looked like he was squaring up for a punch there. Murdoch. Long. Steps it back to Radlinski. Radlinski again. Good try too from Paul Johnson. And just the start to the second half that Wigan wanted. Young Paul Johnson, substitute for Wigan, scores within 2 minutes of the restart. And it was Murdoch's ball to Long, then to Radlinski. And he might have been able to take Prescott on the outside. He didn't bother. Fanned the ball out to Paul Johnson. And the young substitute in for a try that no doubt will have delighted him and, I dare say, his coach. Well, Sean Long, he's had 2 pops at goal, just managed one of them. He's a left-footed kicker, and so this is really on his better side. Good to try and arc it round. Gets under that one quite well, and the Wigan fans tell his story. Long, 2 from 3. 16-12, it's that 4-point gap between the sides once more, as Wigan will kick the ball deep for the Saints.
Yes, Graham West there in the Red the Riot Act at half-time, along with Eric Hughes, the ex-Saints coach, who's now in charge of the academy at Wigan. Apollo Perellini driving it through, and Wigan in 3s and 4s, but Perellini breaks out. The Terminator drives again, straight at Sean Long. Good running there by the Saints. They know they've got to hit back. They still lead the game by 16-12, but on aggregate, Saints need the points. Hammond, inside ball to Sullivan. Saints getting nowhere fast as Sullivan looks for the gap. Once again he flicks it up there to Tommy Martin coming through, but the ball being adjudged have been knocked forward. Saints just, you've got to settle it down, no panic really. Early in the game, only 3 minutes gone, but didn't look very sharp there, Trevor.
Well, I think that's one of the rare occasions that Saints have failed to find the man with such a type of pass. Sullivan perhaps should have settled for it, but Martin perhaps a shout. But it's Wigan now, looking to get him away on that far side. Young Paul Johnson, scorer of that try just a couple of minutes ago. Radlinski out, Long. In comes the second Roman Talik, I think that is. Well, he's been laying on a bit. Hall out with Knowles, substitute. He's tackled. That's the 30 metres mark from the Saints try line. Martin Hall again. Neil Baines will take it in, lays it off to Cowie. Cowie straightens it up. Well, Murdoch was fast asleep on that one. He was busy calling out the next move. Luckily, Knowles was awake. Holgate, not a good pass to him either. Well, Wigan going a bit raggedy at this stage in proceedings. Long looking to straighten up. Almost spots a gap. Good tackle comes in though from Gillian O'Neill. Last tackle too. Out it goes to Murdoch. Murdoch's putting the kick over the top. Should be too deep for Cardis, and it is. So it'll be Saints to resume with that 20-metre tap.
Yes, both sides looking a bit suspect early on, even though Wigan have the opening score of the second half. The Saints tackling will have to be tightened up. I mean, there's 3 and 4 men coming in, but they've got to get the man round the legs. Can't run without the legs. No good with 3 and 4 men up top. But once again, Wigan moving up in an offside position. And I think that may be the first time that Wigan have been done for offside, Trevor.
I think it is. I think there's a few Saints fans agree with you. I think basically referee Campbell has been pretty lax on the offside all through the game. He's not getting them the 10 metres.
No, you're right there. He's been very lenient on both sides. But it's always heartwarming to the popular side faithful when the opposition get penalised as they did just. Once again, Saints on the attack. Hammond turning the ball back inside. McVeigh was on his right. Quick play the ball to Cunningham. Goulding running it crossfield. Looking for runners. Newlove driving through. Great tackling by Wigan. Hold Paul Newlove. Referee wants him to get up. Morley, Hammond. Out to Derek McVeigh. McVeigh again driving for the corner. Held down 5 metres short. Perellini at dummy half. The Wigan defence going to be tested. Hammond looking for the chink in the armour. Inside ball, Perellini. Now it's with Cunningham. Cunningham twisting, turning, held up just short. Last one of the sequence. Hammond attacked in half. Inside to Goulding. Goulding's in. Great try from the captain. 7 minutes gone of the second half, and Goulding replied in kind. Tight as a drum, Wigan defence up to then. Saints putting all the moves together. Cunningham, Perellini, McVie all coming within inches. Well, not inches, yards of the try line. And then on the last tackle, slipped it out to the influential captain, Bobby Goulding, and the gap just opened, Trevor.
I think they're all waiting for him to lay it off to one of his big forwards to come steaming on at that range, and it just opened up for him. He decided to go on his own, took the ball under his arm, little step, and then he was over the try line and took it as near to the post as he could to give himself the best opportunity of adding the extra 2 points. 28 points to 12. Saints lead against Wigan Warriors. Bobby Goulding looking to restore that 10-point advantage and tie up the aggregate scores with this conversion attempt. And no problem for the Little Saints scrum half.
Yep.
Holgate trying to straighten up the middle. Had a fairly quiet first 40 minutes on attack at any rate, although he does get through his share of defensive work. Now with Baines, straight into McVeigh. Looks to lay it off to Hall, and well, just that touch against him and a knock on. Trying to force the pace really on the second tackle. I think it was the second tackle. Should have gone down with that one, but they're 10 points adrift. They're trying to close that gap.
Well, I think the idea was right. Obviously the gap was there and he tried to squeeze it out. It just touched Hall's fingertips. He couldn't take it. That was the knock on. Scrum down. Head and feed Saints ball, and Saints will be looking to obviously put pressure on Wigan. Via Matautia is going to be brought on now to replace Julian O'Neill as Morley drives through. Once again Saints, Julian O'Neill the man there. It's going to be replaced. Driving towards the Wigan line. Goulding running the angles, looking for the runners. Here's Newlove. 10 metres short. From acting half-back, Kieran Cunningham, can he squeeze in? Oh, that's great, Wigan defence. They swarmed round him, the gap looked there, and then the Wigan defence came in. Once again, the Saints trying to go on their own. Newlove, can he turn, can he twist? No, he can't. Where's the referee? We're trying to see, oh, he's here now, lined up with the Saints. Turnover, Wigan ball.
Well, Newlove, I think, and Cunningham firstly. Very, very close to get another Saints try, but great defence from Wigan, really working hard this side of theirs on the defence. Trying to bring it away, but look at Perellini get in on that one, and McVeigh. Well, driving the Wigan youngster Daryl Cardis back. Now with Baines, and they're trying to get Baines off and get Ian Sherratt back on. Matt Knowles takes it forward. Well, you can see he was trying to get that one out. No opportunity though. Well, this time a bit of run from the Frenchman, Gail Tallick. Gets it back, but a knock on. Well, Wigan really are trying to force the pace with some rather silly balls at this stage. Under pressure, of course, 22-12 the trail. Matautia comes on. Off goes Julian O'Neill, and a rapturous welcome for Matautia and a rapturous thank you to O'Neill. Certainly endeared himself with the Saints fans. We're going to be a Saints pudding.
Yes, Goulding to feed in a very good position. Blindside ploy. Hammond from the loose forward berth picks it up, drives to the 20-metre line. Saints again moving cross-field. Martin, sleight of hand to Prescott. Prescott in and out, drawing the defence in, slips it to Sullivan. Sullivan coming cross-field. Once again, Sullivan brought down, 5 metres short. More or less midfield. Goulding again, can he go in for his second? Puts a speculator out, Prescott tidies it up. The Wigan defence forcing back. Saints maybe with a bit more space to play with now. 18 metres short of the Wigan line, in the lead by 22-12. Via Matautia straight in at the action. Just come on for Julian O'Neill. And once again the Saints prodding, probing. Hammond, drop-off ball to Perolini. Yes! Perolini's in! The Terminator scores! Wigan, you have been terminated! 12 metres into the second half. Perolini in for the try.
Well, lots of Saints pressure on that one. Really, you thought the try had to come. It was drawing Wigan one side and then the other. And in the end, it was just that little drop-off ball turned inside from Kyle Hammond. And Perolini, well, he's shown already once today his power from close in. And he stretched his big 6-foot-odd frame, used his 17 and 18 stone, and managed to get the ball down. Banged it down on the try line. And Wigan have got to look closely at what they can do to pull this back. Bobby Goulding now with the conversion attempt. He's already kicked 3 from 4. And dare I say it shouldn't be too difficult for him. And it isn't. Goulding backs that over. And you can see the pound signs ringing. As far as Saints are concerned, 28 points to 12. And they deserve that lead.
Yes, they do. They've played well. They've come back well after Wigan scoring first in the second half. Nigel Wright just coming on now. Have his first touch of football for quite a long while. The Saints kick the ball off. And Wigan have the possession. Saints in the lead on aggregate score now by 6 points. And obviously leading well today by 28 points to 12.
Nigel Wright back in action. I mean, Graham West will be glad to see him available again. Been out with knee injury for a long time, something like 9 or 10 months, as Cowie takes the ball forward. So he's come out and replaced Matt Knowles, the big forward. And it's desperation time in some respects as far as this Norweb challenge goes for Wigan. They need some more points on the board now, another try. Nigel Wright. Well, what a big hit from McVeigh. Welcome back to Super League. Murdoch, last tackle. Long has to put the kick in. Bit of a nothing kick, really. Chase on from Murdoch. Prescott's looking at it. It will go dead. And Wigan having to regroup themselves. See what they can do on this game. We've also got on the Saints side, now pulling it forward.
Yes, Morley on the far side, well taken by Wigan. Saints again, trying to keep it forward. 28 points to 12 in the lead. 56 minutes gone on the clock. Matautia driving it downfield. Hammond looking to carve a gap in the Wigan defence. The first time Saints have been in the lead in this Norweb challenge. Well, obviously we was 2 points to 0 in the lead. Now it's with Arnold. Arnold tries to get boot to ball, but he didn't actually make contact. I think that'll be classed as a knock-on. Will it be the turnover on the 6th tackle? No, a knock-on. The ball will be brought back. Great work there. Crisp hands to Alan Hunt, onto Arnold. He saw his way was bad, Trevor. He tried to chip it, but didn't get connection.
No, he didn't make the kick. The tackle came in just at the right time, and then the touch judge had judged that the ball had gone into touch. So Wigan with the possession. In comes Cardis from the wing to try and gain a bit of ground, but none too successful in that. Murdoch, Holgate, certainly been policed well as Holgate. And in fact, Saints generally got up on the Wigan runners to deny them any sort of space. That's Cowie underneath the blue of the Saints. Sherratt now back on. He came back on with Neil Baines a few minutes ago. Martin Hall out with Murdoch. Good side, good step and goal from Nigel Wright. Last tackle though, Wright eager to get in on the action, trying to milk a penalty, doesn't succeed. Doc Murray puts the kick over to this far side. Well, it's going to find its way into touch, is it? Just, well, a good couple of metres from the corner flag. Not a bad kick, but it will obviously be Saints put in.
Yes, it'll be brought back to the 10-metre line and 20 metres in from the popular side touch line. Don't forget your next match here at Nosey Road, the 24th of January, where Saints play another, in inverted commas, friendly against the Leeds Rhinos. A Friday night, a 7:30 kick-off. Head and feed to Saints. Bobby Golding feeds it. Danny Arnold in off the wing, trying to break the Wigan cover defence, but that's great tackling once again. Saints on aggregate lead by 6 points, 50-44 on the aggregate. Approaching the three-quarter time mark, 19 minutes gone of this second half. Matautia driving through. The ball being, well, the ball's lost, and the referee, eagle-eyed Mr. Campbell, he spotted the ball had been knocked forward there, Trevor, and a scrum down with the Wigan head and feet in a very good attacking position.
Well, yeah, that's a bit of a let-off for Wigan, I think, really, because Saints have been building well from their own half. Wigan with the ball now. Radlinski, well, he's going to go on his own. In comes Newlove, sews him up, ball and all. We get the ball into Murdoch. That's Talik. He's worked hard as the Frenchman. Certainly not Andy Farrell, though. Here, Cowie. Been very effective, Cowie, going forward. Certainly knocked off one or two Saints forwards and ruffled feathers as well. They love him, do the Saints fans. Howard Long, Nigel Wright. I think the best thing about the Saints defence is they really swarm in when any Wigan players half-checked. They're really getting there in numbers.
Well, they certainly are, and they've got to do, haven't they? Because they know Wigan can expose them, as they are doing over there on the far side.
Well, Murdoch trying to back up Sherratt. Last tackle. Ball out this time to Long. What's the long ball to Nigel Wright? Should have been quick hands possibly, but in moved Arnold. Cardis looking for a bit of room. He's quick, this lad, but not quick enough to get under Morley's tackle and to play the ball.
As we were saying, Trevor, Saints tackling there came to the fore. Wigan were trying to expose them, and the Saints cover defence came up with the goods. Arnold, great driving run, pushes off Hall. He's taken round the legs by Sherratt, who's took a knock to the face. And Saints once again, great 15-20 metre burst from Kieran, is it Kieran Cunningham? It certainly is. Hunt at dummy half. Via Matautia offers the dummy, drives it forward midway between the Wigan 20 and the halfway line. Martin inside. Alan Hunt. Good attacking position for the Saints. They've got to come up with points here. Golding takes command again. Short ball to Newlove. Newlove puts it on the outside to Sullivan. Can Sullivan touch down? No, Wigan have the possession. Great drive there. The pass from Newlove to Sullivan looked a little suspect, Trevor, but it was allowed to go on, and Wigan have the possession now.
Well, Saints driving Wigan back their own line, as you can see. I don't know if you noticed, Ron, but actually Doc Murray's now playing a half-back role, and it's Sean Long who's reverted to full-back. They obviously feel they perhaps need a little bit more experience to get something moving in centre park. Murray getting more and more involved, but really Wigan very much under the cosh.
Yeah, well, let's hope they are under the cosh. They've been forced back over their own line there. They've got to drop out from between the sticks. I mean, if messages have obviously come down from Graham West about Long, I thought he's not playing so bad at all. But he's the man, he's paid to do the job and not me. Danny Arnold has the possession. Prescott at full-back, looking to scamper his way through. He's in and out, is Prescott. Scored some memorable tries for the Saints. Saved some memorable tries as well. But contractual difficulties, he's on the transfer list at 200 thou. Saints within striking distance. Once again, Golding. Tommy Martin. Oh, lovely ball to Matautia. Oh, that's a try all the way. And Tommy Martin. Watch this man there. But that's put clear breathing space, really, between the two teams. Great attack by the Saints as they was pressing down. And a lovely slip ball, Trevor, from Tommy Martin. Inch perfect to Matautia, and he'll take some stopping, won't he?
Well, what a great ball. Tommy Martin knew what he was doing all along, ran it hard and fast, and as he burst through the tackle, just slipped up a one-handed pass. Matautia took it, and well, you take some stopping from about 10 metres out. A great try from Matautia. And just on that Doc Murray and Long thing, they seem to be switching over really, because just that last session of play, it was Murray who was back at full-back, so whether it's a case of they're just seeing how things are going, and if Murray's allowed to go up, then Long drops back. Perhaps that's more the ploy rather than a permanent, as far as this game goes, switch over. But Bobby Goulding now got the opportunity to make it 34-12, and the 15 grand definitely, I think, heading to Knowsley Road. Wigan struggling at this stage, looking a well-beaten side. They've been defending their own line for the last 10 minutes or so. Bobby Goulding, though, wide with that kick, so his second miss of the afternoon. Nonetheless, it's still St Helens 32, Wigan Warriors 12, and a 20-point gap and a 10-point cushion as far as the aggregate scores are concerned. So Goulding kicks the ball deep, trying to catch Wigan out on this side. Daryl Cardis takes it. Younger with quite a bit of pace, gets clear, good run from him, trying to take on Prescott, no support, but a good clearing run, 48 metres or so. Can be pleased with that. Baines is back on. He's come on just a few minutes ago, loses the ball though, and the referee said he'd already called hell. Scrum down, Saints put in. So Baines on, 62 minutes. And it's going to be a Saints put in.
Yes, just inside their own half. Saints feed, the referee's not happy with it. As Trevor said, Saints with a 20-point cushion and a 10-point cushion in aggregate scores. So it's looking good for the 15 grand, but you can never discount anything. Bobby Goulding puts a precise kick through for Alan Hunt. Alan Hunt with all the time in the world, and that settled it. No danger about that from the Saints captain, the Great Britain tourist. And now Saints can shout easy, easy, can't they? With a little bit of pride. Not as they haven't got any pride before. But obviously, that certainly puts it a bit more out of Wigan's reach, doesn't it, Trevor? But great tactics from Bobby Goulding. Put it through, and Hunt in acres of space.
Well, obviously a preset move. Hunt knew exactly what was happening on a great kick, measured to perfection. And well, he'd left everybody for dead in the Wigan defence. Yeah, he had absolute loads of time to pick that ball up. But a young, inexperienced side who's done very, very well indeed up to this stage. Goulding there with the kick. 38-12. And St Helens fans in good voice, Ron.
Yes, well, they're always in good voice when they're winning, aren't they? I mean, they're in good voice when they're losing, but not as vociferous. You've got to get behind your team whether you're winning or losing, haven't you? There's no danger about that. But Saints kick off. We're going to have the ball. They're trailing by 38 points to 12. There's 13 minutes to go, and Saints have been penalised for reaping the ball out, I think. Well, we're going to have the penalty.
Murray takes it forward. Bit of a first for you two, Ron, in this one. Fourth time we've worked together. First time you look like picking up winning pair. Neil.
It's got to be a first time for everything, Trevor, hasn't it?
Neil Cowie. Out with Hall, out to Baines. Baines, who came on, I think, for the Frenchman, Talick, was it? So Hall looking to go on his own. No, Talick's still on the park, so it's obviously not him. But again, with the long, not a particularly good ball, well picked up by Johnson. Makes the most of that one. Last tackle. Cardis, out to Murdoch. Murdoch looking to hoist the high up and under. Everybody's onside. In comes Holgate on a chase. Holgate, well, lets him go. I don't know what he was thinking there. Hammond's away. Hammond's looking for support. In comes Cardis.
Well, Prescott, didn't he take it well? With swarms round him, slipped the ball out, Hammond took it up. It's now with Martin. Saints are full of running. Morley, the ball going back, tied it up. Newlove slips it out to Matautia. Matautia, the big Western Samoan, swats one off, pushes another out of the way, takes the tackle. Cunningham's rampant. He's running towards the line, 5 metres short. Once again, Saints within a strike. Goulding puts it crossfield. Arnold. Oh, well taken by the Wiganer, is it? Yes, he took it well. The idea was right. It was meant for Danny Arnold. The bounce was awkward. Arnold put pressure on his counterpart, and he was taken in the in-goal area, and Wigan will drop out from between the sticks. The popular side faithful below us, obviously, when Saints scored that last try, they're letting you know we are the champions, and as you know, you're at Knowsley Road, home of the Super League champions, the Challenge Cup winners, runners-up in the Premiership. To our opponents today, Wigan. Two great teams and a great clash this afternoon. Once again, Saints build up. Derek McVie looking to release, looking for Arnold to come inside. He stood his ground, now it's with Cunningham. Arnold sidesteps in, great tackle there. Solid tackling, Johnson the man in, and Long. Saints play it quickly. Golding, run around with Martin. Dummy, even done with the commentator, slips it to Hammond. Now with Kieran Cunningham. Saints are looking rampant. Cunningham chips it for the corner. Well, oh dear me, the ball taking a bounce there, and it did run dead, and the referee reckons a Wigan player had touched it. It didn't look like it from here, but he's closer than us, Trevor.
I think it actually bounced up and hit young Cardis on the knee. He was waiting for it to go dead. Even the Saints players had given up the chase, but it didn't. It, in fact, bounced up, touched his foot, and then rolled over with the very last gasp of breath that he had on it. So it's going to be a drop out on the post. Wigan where they have been for most of the game, and the same substitutions being made. That round of applause is for Tommy Martin, who's coming off, and for Derek McVeigh. They've certainly loved seeing Martin on here today. He's had a great game too. So Saints will take possession.
Yes, he has had a great game, Tommy Martin, as you say. Well in line for the Man of the Match award. But Saints have played well as a team. They've got their act together after a very ring-rusty game at Boxing Day at Central Park. 38-12 they lead, 10 minutes of the game to go. And Saints well on the attack, 10 metres short of the Wigan line. Matautia again, builds up ahead of steam. Wigan being put under pressure, and Saints can answer with a score, can't they? Bobby Goldie gives the dummy, drives it away again. Pirouettes, looks for the gap, nearly got through. Referee Campbell moving in for the play the ball. Saints move it right. Paul Anderson, the man we was on about before. Hammond, short ball to Perellini. Last one of the sequence. Which way will the Saints go? Hammond looking to go in on his own, and he's in. Hammond touches down over the whitewash. Saints register another try after 31 minutes of this second period. The result obviously beyond doubt. Saints register their 8th try, and once again, Trevor, on the 6th tackle, where the Wigan defence has been pretty tight, he was caught out.
Well, again, I think they're looking for runners to come off, but Saints held on. Hammond not far out, he's a big strong lad.
But Wigan, they've no need to be dismayed. Obviously proud of the youngsters that's competed in the Boxing Day clash. They was all heroes then, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be heroes today, Trevor, is there? Because obviously they've competed, they've matched Saints more or less for 60 minutes, and then Saints have just run away with it.
Well, you'd expect the Saints' experience to carry them through. We have to say that Saints now, what, 2 weeks on, 3 weeks on from the first clash, certainly look a lot sharper side. And the return of Martin and Goulding have given a warning to the rest of the league that the champions are not going to be handing over the trophy to anybody. It's Curry, though, taking it forward. And Andy Northey getting involved. Hall out to Murdoch. Radlinski. Johnson can't take that. Not the best of balls from Radlinski. Behind the young centre's head, and he shakes his head in disgust. Wigan, well, looking very disjointed at this stage, a little bit shell-shocked. I don't think any of them have really conceded this many points in any game for many a year.
Oh, you're right there. High pass there just couldn't be taken from Radlinski, who had an excellent game in the first encounter. The referee not happy with the scrum. Usually they let anything go, don't they, Trevor? 6 minutes remaining of this tie. Obviously the winners of the Norweb Challenge, beyond doubt. Paul Anderson, who's gone full-time professional. Still another 2 years or so of his contract here at Saints. Newlove hits the straps, takes 3 Wigan defenders with him. And once again, Saints trying to draw the Wigan defence in. Anderson, Matautier slips the ball out well. The Saints come up with possession. Saints penalised for pushing a Wigan player off. I think it was a bit of 50-50 originally, but there we go. Wigan with the penalty.
Those 50-50 glasses again, Ron.
They're brilliant. You want to get a pair?
Hall was the man obstructed. Hall was the man who resumes play, and now he gets the return from Cowie. Trying to get this ball out wide, trying to release Johnson, but the Saints sliding fence come across well. Alan Hunt can't quite get him in touch. Cardis, a dummy, to Radlinski. Out this time to Nigel Wright. Ball well taken by Murray. Can't get away from Pickavance though. Long, Sean Long, little chip through, going on his own. It's the Saints player. He should clear that up, and Aldi picks it up. Enclosed Wigan to hold him down.
Yes, Saints have the possession. They want to bring Julian O'Neill back on and replace Carl Hammond. Wigan have made another substitute. I make it the 7th substitution. That Cowie's been brought off and Knowles has gone back on. But there's another talking point, isn't there? Saints have to go on, Trevor.
Well, I can only think that perhaps Baines, when he came off, was a blood bin, because Sherratt was only on the field for a short while before Baines went back on.
Yes, that's right, he did. I noticed that Sherratt had taken a knock to the face. Yes, I stand corrected, Trevor. Golden chips it through, gets the ball. Support from Prescott, he couldn't take it. But Don Murray chases it now. Can he make the line, Trevor?
Has he got the pace? He's Northey in pursuit of Northey, dies over. Goal-kicking style, and a great save from him. Well, Murray, first tackle, thought he could see the whitewash beckoning. Didn't count on Northey having that bit of pace.
No, brilliant cover by Andy Northey there. 100% Saints Northey. He pull on. Well, obviously he's got his squad number, but he'll play in any position for the Saints. He covered well there with Murray kicking through. He saw the gap in the Saints defence. Cunningham trying to scamper through. Solid defence by Wigan right in front of us. Hammond, the man that's going to be replaced, onto Golding. Golding, chip and run. And a great tackle by Bobby Golding, assisted by Paul Anderson.
Oh yeah, that was on Sean Long in the full-back berth, as we said. And the substitution, O'Neill replacing Hammond with 4 minutes remaining. That's Saints' final substitution, or should be. Now Knowles trying to go forward. Northey looks like he's hurt himself in that tackle. And that would be a shame. Holgate, suspicion of a forward pass, the crowd call it out. Referee takes no notice. Murdoch, Nigel Wright this time, trying to straighten up. Just on the back of him is Chris Morley. Cross out to Murdoch again. Can Wigan conjure up a last try? Oh, with running or defending like that, Radlinski dumped on his back. Last tackle, long ball out to Nigel Wright, puts a little kick in for Cardis. Cardis got pace, doesn't quite make it, the ball just beats him dead. And it's going to be a scrum down on this near side. But Wigan put in because it was Saints who took it over the touchline. So it's going to be Murdoch to feed the ball. Saints defending, Wigan looking for this one last score. Murdoch out to Long. Long pass from him to Radlinski. Radlinski dummies, loses his footing. Gets here back inside to young Paul Johnson. This young academy player. Scored a try here this afternoon. Again, Baines. What a hit from him. Well, should I say on him by Matatue. Cross. Ball to Wright. Wright trying to step his way through. Saints covers straight in. Wright taking his time. Murdoch. Well, they're still not getting numbers out. Saints defence really making it so there's not many gaps at all for Wigan to exploit. Martin Hall, farewell game here for Wigan. Long puts a little kick in. And it just beats Radlinski. Well, they scored 4 times from that one at Central Park. Not coming off of them today.
No, the idea was right. Saints were exposed on that far side. The kick with just too much beef in. Obviously, Wigan playing for a little bit of pride now, Trevor. Trailing by 44 points to 12. just not going wrong. And obviously a few of the popular side faithful below us seeing a few of the pie eaters doing the Wigan walk. It's something that they are famed for as well as Uncle Joe's, Trevor.
Well, no chance of me doing the Wigan walk. Never get through the crowd up here.
No, and you've got to put up with me as well. I wouldn't let you go. But Saints have the possession. The minute's counting away in the 39th minute. Alan Hunt just losing his footing up to the 20-metre mark. Arnold at full-back, acting half-back, I should say. Trying to get through, well taken, held down to the nth degree again, Trevor, by Cunningham, scampering away. Maybe the pitch just getting a little slippy now. It's a lot of players losing the footing. But Saints will be presented with the Norweb challenge check as O'Neill loses the ball. Yes, he did lose the ball there, right in front of us, and Wigan with maybe the last chance of scoring in this match, Trevor.
Well, we're in injury time now. Andy Johnson, the man with the ball then. Daryl Cardiff trying to have her own. Great tackle from Alan Hunt. Hauls him down. Bit of line on to the nth -1 degree, perhaps you'd say. Here we go. And there goes the final hooter as Gail Tallick was tackled. Saints the winners by 44 points to 12. They led 16-6 at half-time. They got tries from Perrolini, Sullivan and Hammond against one from Ellison. In the second half, Wigan pulled it back to 16-12 with a Paul Johnson try, but then Saints moved away with Goulding, Perrolini, Matatutia, Hunt and Hammond scoring other tries. It's been a great game, a great two-game series, and one we both enjoyed.
Yes, a great game, as you said, between two of the great teams. Nothing friendly about the clash. Saints winning on aggregate 66 points to 44. 16-6 they were in the lead at half-time, but Wigan replied in kind early on. A try from Paul Johnson, goal by Long, 16-12. But then it was all Saints. The tries from Goulding, Perrolini, Matautia, Hunt and Hammond in the second period sealed it beyond doubt, 44 points to 12. And maybe this Norweb challenge could be an annual thing. Both Saints and Wigan been starved of rugby since early September when the Premiership final was played, and with having more or less 2 seasons without a break, with the centenary season, then followed on by the Challenge Cup, which is obviously pre-season competition now, then emerging into the first season of Super League, and Saints carrying on there, finishing in both of these sides appearing in the Premiership trophy, and then no rugby till more or less February and March till we start the Challenge Cup again, and then the main season. The draw for the Challenge Cup being made on the 27th of January with the Saints and the other big boys, the Super League lot, coming into contention. So we look forward to a favourable draw there for the Challenge Cup holders. But here's Bobby Goulding now leading his side up. As your commentator, as your PA man Stewart says, Bobby Goulding receiving the trophy for the Norweb Winter Challenge. A 2-match series resulting in Saints winning on aggregate by 66 points to 44. But both sides have competed well, Trevor, and it's been obviously 2 separate games with Wigan taking the spoils handsomely. But Saints coming back late at Central Park, and obviously that's put them in good stead for today.
Well, great Saints performance. They had a 10-point disadvantage to start with, and as you say, they showed the class of true champions by not only closing that, but going on to making an emphatic win. Wigan, though, have played their part. This Wigan youngsters will be a far cry from the side that I dare say will be turning out next time these two teams meet. Who knows, it might be at Wembley, and what a classic that would be. These games certainly have been full of interest, full of entertainment, and as we've said throughout, no love lost once they're on the paddock.
Yes, you're right there, and no love lost between me and you, Trevor, is there really? But we'll kiss and make up after, and that'll be in the news of the world next week. What Saints going up for the trophies there. Wigan now will go up for their mementos of this 2-game clash. No problem for Wigan as they go up. Hall, the captain. It could have been all so different if Wigan have had the big names back. Connolly, Robinson, Twigger-Marler, Andy Farrell out, Henry Paul. I mean, the games, the players that can, take a game by the scruff of the neck. But Saints did the job today. They came away with the spoils. 44 points to 12, the final score here at Nosey Road, as Wigan go up for the mementos. the referee and the matchday officials go up as well. But what a great two-match series, and the Saints go marching on, and that'll put them in good stead, obviously. Don't forget, your next match here at Nosey Road, January the 24th, Friday evening, against Leeds Rhinos, as Saints come over here to the popular side, the very vociferous popular side, and raise the trophy aloft as Bobby Golding. A cheque for £15,000 from Norway. Drinks all round tonight. Great display by the Saints. All the 17-man squad as they come round to show the trophy off to the Saints faithful.